50 people injured as a 6.9 magnitude earthquake hit Cebu province in the central Philippines on Tuesday night. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology has reported that the quake struck a depth of 5 kilometers, approximately 19 kilometers northeast of Bogo City. The tremors were also felt in many neighboring provinces in the central Philippines, as well as some regions in the southern Philippines. Rescue operations are underway as authorities warn the death toll may rise amid widespread damage to infrastructure and power lines. Hospitals on the Philippine island of Cebu have been flooded with patients, and some of the injured are being treated on beds on the driveway of the Cebu Provincial Hospital. They had also been wheeled out of the hospital building amid fears of further aftershocks. Now we move on. A Russian-guided aerial bomb attack on the northeastern Ukrainian city of Kharkiv overnight has injured 6 people and sparked several fires, according to regional officials. Olesy Hubov, governor of the broader Kharkiv region, has said that 5 of those injured have been hospitalized. Moreover, Ihor Terechov, mayor of Kharkiv, has said that the attack also sparked a fire at one of the city's markets and at some residential buildings. Meanwhile, Russian local media citing Russia's defense ministry has stated that Russian air defense units have destroyed 20 Ukrainian drones overnight.
У нас все сгорело. Вот видите, магазины наши сгорело все. Вот наши магазины. Вот пошлите, я вам покажу. Вот наши ткани, все сгорело. Мы не могли спасти ничего.
Заниматель этого магазина, вот в моем магазине как раз прилет был. Именно в мой магазин ракета летела. Второй раз уже погорает, к сожалению. Вот взяли золото, опять начали работать, но, к сожалению, опять мой магазин.
Я не спала совершенно. Оно как бахнет вот так, но и мне в окне дырка. Дырка.
Now for this discussion, we're joined by Professor Veselin Popovsky. He's a professor and vice dean at Jindal Global Law School, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us. Good to see you. Now, looking at these evolving situations from both sides, especially in Ukraine, how can international institutions like UN or EU, not EU, but IAEA play in mitigating the risks posed by ongoing hostilities near nuclear facilities?
Yes, these are warning exchanges of drones. Well, what we see is basically Russian killing civilian targets and killing civilian people, whereas Ukrainian drones are primarily directed at energy infrastructure, refineries, oil pipes, and which are purely military targets, by the way. In time of war, energy infrastructure is a military target. And mostly hits on Russia are to reduce Russian capacity to export oil and gas, where the major revenue comes from. So again, we rarely hear about any Russian civilians killed, but we almost weekly, sometime daily, hear about Ukrainian civilians casualty, which basically very understandable who is fighting what. Russia is fighting civilians and they are reporting casualties weekly or even not daily, whereas Ukraine is mostly trying to liberate its territory, simple. And for that matter, trying to reduce Russian capacity. So how international institutions react? Well, in the United Nations, we had already many discussions over the last 3.5 years with most of the world united behind Ukraine. Over 140 countries support the General Assembly resolutions. ICJ ruled against Russia. Human Rights Council expelled Russia from membership. So with the exception of the Security Council, which is blocked and paralyzed by the Russian veto itself, the rest of the United Nations is very much clear on which side it stands. And the Atomic Agency you mentioned, yes, there are, as I said, concerns, and the agency needs to verify the safety of those facilities in Ukraine. Again, Ukraine is defending its territory. That's simple. And for that matter, we don't blame Ukraine for anything, because if Russia didn't start this war, there won't be any danger on any nuclear facilities anywhere on any territory. Again, even if Ukrainian drones strike something in Russian territory, this is a result of the Russian aggression. Simple.
And Professor, now looking back at when President Trump was more active towards mediating between U.S. and Russia, it seems more quiet now. Do you think U.S. is still active in mediating as a role? And looking at U.S. also, they are going to send long-range military equipment to in support of Ukraine. So why is U.S. leading towards Ukraine now?
Well, finally, I must say, they should have done it from day one, but such an incompetent president and administration took 9 months to realize what to do. If Kamala Harris was a president, it would have been done from day one. But Donald Trump is trying to make himself great peacemaker, but he achieved nothing, zero. He didn't do anything. He talks and talks, and he meets Putin, he talks to Vitkov, he talks to Zelensky. He's pretending doing diplomacy, but without force, without keeping his ultimatum. He made many, 7, 8 ultimatums against Russia, didn't keep a single promise to impose more severe sanctions. So finally, as you say, after 9 months, United States realizes that it should support Ukraine strongly, including with long-distance missiles, including with intelligence information, including with Air Force if necessary. And that's also, we hear that a few weeks back when the United States said no troop on the ground. That's the other European countries should do that. But we are happy to provide air defense support. We are happy to provide no-fly zone and other assistance to Ukraine. So unfortunately, 9 months lost because of this incompetent administration, but finally we hear the right voices from Washington, D.C., and hopefully that may change. Well, Putin has no other option. He was very happy with the American elections because basically that gave him some extra oxygen to survive another year or two. And he's very happy with Donald Trump because exactly Donald Trump is such erratic and incompetent president, exactly what Putin and Russia want, but no longer. I hope things get where they should get, and Russia is soon defeated. Hopefully Putin will also realize that he has no options left. Apart from killing civilians, he has no option left. He doesn't advance on the battlefield. Well, he can mobilize another 200,000 soldiers, and that's also what we hear. There will be a new mobilization of Russian soldiers, more fresh meat to die in Ukraine, unfortunately, sadly. But that's what Russia does, and Vladimir Putin does. He basically sends more soldiers to be killed in a useless, bloody, unnecessary war. But until he's in power, nothing else can be expected, unfortunately.
Yes. With that, I would like to thank Professor for this discussion, but please stay with us as we come back to you for our next